The courtroom is silent. You can almost hear the air tighten between breaths. Aurora Brown stands at the center of it all, her hands trembling around a cream-colored envelope she found hidden inside her mother's jewelry box. On the front, written in Robyn's unmistakable cursive, are the words, "For Kody's legal counsel, private." Inside that envelope lies a letter, one that, by all accounts, should have never been found. It's not just any letter. It's the document that could rewrite the entire Brown family legacy and destroy what little trust remains between them. Because once Aurora opens that letter, nothing about the Brown family will ever be the same again. What she doesn't know is that the person who hid it, her own mother, has been preparing for this moment for years. And by the time the courtroom realizes what Aurora's about to read, it's already too late. She wasn't supposed to find it, Robyn whispers under her breath, voice cracking. But the judge has already given permission. Aurora steps forward, and with a single tear cutting down her cheek, she begins to read. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, if you were Aurora, would you expose your own mother? Or would you stay silent to protect her? The courtroom is silent. You can almost hear the air tighten between breaths. Aurora Brown stands at the center of it all, her hands trembling around a cream-colored envelope she found hidden inside her mother's jewelry box. On the front, written in Robyn's unmistakable cursive, are the words, "For Kody's legal counsel, private." Inside that envelope lies a letter, one that, by all accounts, should have never been found. It's not just any letter. It's the document that could rewrite the entire Brown family legacy and destroy what little trust remains between them. Because once Aurora opens that letter, nothing about the Brown family will ever be the same again. What she doesn't know is that the person who hid it, her own mother, has been preparing for this moment for years. And by the time the courtroom realizes what Aurora's about to read, it's already too late. Robyn whispers under her breath. She wasn't supposed to find it. But the judge has already given permission. Aurora steps forward, and with a single tear cutting down her cheek, she begins to read. What would you do if the truth that could save you also meant destroying the person who raised you? Before we dive in, tell me in the comments. If you were Aurora, would you expose your own mother, or would you stay silent to protect her? Let's get into it. The morning light leaks through the blinds of Robyn's Flagstaff mansion, casting uneven stripes across the marble floor. Aurora sits on the edge of her bed, the envelope still in her hands. The paper smells faintly of Robyn's perfume, the same scent she's worn for years. But under that sweetness is something sharper, something secret. She remembers finding it the night before. It wasn't supposed to be there. Tucked beneath the velvet lining of a jewelry box, behind a layer of unused credit cards and a small gold key. Her heart raced when she read the name. Kody's legal counsel? That title alone was enough to make her hands shake. Robyn always said their family was built on trust. But that word has started to sound foreign. Aurora can still hear her mother's soft, tearful voice in the kitchen the week before, whispering to Kody about paperwork and protection in case something happened to him. She thought it was just about the land, about Coyote Pass. But what she found in that envelope goes far beyond that. The letter begins with a calm, professional tone. Per the updated property distribution, the following rights are hereby reassigned to the named dependents of Robyn Brown. Aurora's eyes scan down the page. She sees names, her siblings, Brianna, Dayton, Ariella. Then a sentence that makes her breath stop. All remaining assets under the Brown family trust shall be reclassified to reflect sole inheritance rights of Robyn Brown's biological children. There it is. The betrayal written in black ink. No mention of Christine's children. None of Janelle's. Not even Mary's. Just Robyn's side. Aurora feels a lump in her throat. She wants to believe this can't be true, that it's a draft, an old document. But the signature at the bottom erases that hope. Kody W. Brown. Sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. It locks you in a cage with no way out. She sits in silence for nearly an hour, staring at the letter. The air feels heavier now. The walls, once filled with family laughter, seem to close in on her. She thinks about how many times her mom told her, "We're the good ones. We're the ones who stayed loyal." But loyal to what? A lie? A family divided by greed? That night, Aurora drives to Christine's house, the one with the porch lights always left on. Christine opens the door, confusion turning into concern when she sees the look on Aurora's face. Aurora doesn't say a word. She just hands her the envelope. Christine's hands tremble as she reads. Her eyes widen. She sits down slowly, her mouth forming the same words Aurora's been too afraid to say. She took everything. The next morning, word spreads. Mary calls Christine first. Janelle follows. Within hours, the story reaches Kody, and his rage is instant. He storms into Robyn's kitchen, fists slamming the counter. "What did you do?" he yells. Robyn freezes, clutching her coffee mug. "It was supposed to be a backup, just in case something happened to you." "A backup?" he snaps. "You cut out my entire family. Secrets always sound noble until someone else finds out." 2 days later, the courtroom is packed. The press is outside. Cameras are everywhere. The judge calls the session to order. And there she is, Aurora Brown, standing beside Christine and Mary, trembling but determined. She doesn't want to hurt her mother, but she can't carry the guilt anymore. As the court clerk hands her the letter, Aurora glances toward Robyn, who can't meet her eyes. When she starts to speak, her voice is barely above a whisper. "This letter, it wasn't meant for me, but I found it. And I think everyone deserves to know what it says." The judge nods. Aurora clears her throat. She begins to read aloud. Every line, every signature, every betrayal. By the time she reaches the final sentence, the courtroom feels frozen in time. And just when everyone thinks it's over, the real shock begins. Kody's attorney stands abruptly. "Your Honor," he says, voice sharp, "there's a legal issue with that document." The judge frowns. "Explain." The lawyer adjusts his glasses. "According to our records, Aurora Brown was never supposed to exist in that trust at all." Gasps ripple through the room. Aurora's mouth falls open. Robyn buries her face in her hands. The judge leans forward. "Are you saying this document?" But before he can finish, Robyn stands up, shouting, "Stop! Please, just stop!" The courtroom erupts. Reporters scramble. The bailiff moves in. Aurora drops the letter, staring at her trembling hands, realizing she's not just exposed a lie, she's become part of it. The judge slams the gavel. Court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. As Aurora's escorted out, Christine grabs her arm and whispers, "You did the right thing." But Aurora isn't sure anymore, because in that moment, she finally understands. This isn't just about property or inheritance, it's about identity. And if Kody's lawyer is right, her entire existence in that trust might be the next secret to unravel. When truth and blood collide, someone always walks away shattered. The next morning, the courthouse feels different. The sky above Flagstaff is gray, heavy with clouds that look ready to break. People gather outside the steps long before the session starts. Cameras flashing, whispers filling the air. Inside, Aurora sits alone at the witness table, her hands clasped so tightly her knuckles are white. She hasn't slept. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees that letter, her mother's handwriting, her father's signature, and the words that changed everything. When Robyn walks in, she looks drained, almost fragile. Her eyes are swollen, her makeup uneven. She avoids looking at Aurora completely. Instead, she clings to Kody's arm like she's trying to keep herself from collapsing. Kody doesn't say a word. His jaw is tight, his eyes cold. He sits beside his attorney, flipping through files that look like they've been rewritten overnight. Christine, Mary, and Janelle are seated together in the gallery, whispering nervously. Every so often, Christine glances at Aurora, nodding as if to silently say, "Stay strong." The bailiff calls the court to order. The judge enters, expression unreadable. Before we proceed, the judge begins, "Mr. Brown's counsel has filed a motion concerning the authenticity of the letter presented yesterday." Aurora feels her chest tighten. She knows what's coming, or at least she thinks she does. The lawyer stands, smooth and calm. "Your Honor, our client believes the document was indeed drafted by his legal office. However, the version presented yesterday appears to have been altered." The crowd murmurs. Reporters scribble notes. The judge raises an eyebrow. "Altered how?" The lawyer clears his throat. "Certain names that were not included in the original trust appear in this version. Most notably, Aurora Brown." Aurora's breath catches. The judge looks directly at her. "Miss Brown, are you aware that your name may not have been in the original trust?" I don't understand," Aurora stammers. "According to our archives," the lawyer continues, "the 2015 family trust listed only Robyn's 3 youngest children as beneficiaries. Aurora's name was not among them because..." He stops mid-sentence, glancing at Robyn. She gives him a desperate, warning look. "Because what?" the judge demands. The lawyer sighs. "Because Aurora's guardianship status was never legally finalized under the Brown family trust. In the eyes of the law, she was never part of the trust at all. A stunned silence fills the courtroom. Even Kody looks blindsided. Aurora feels the floor tilt beneath her. For years, she believed she was part of something. Part of them. Sometimes the truth cuts deepest when it's carved from the people you trust most. Christine stands up from her seat, outraged. That's impossible! Aurora was raised by them her entire life. The judge bangs the gavel. Mrs. Brown, please sit down! But Robyn starts crying, shaking her head. I didn't mean for it to come out this way. She's my daughter. I don't care what a piece of paper says. Kody slams his hand on the table. Robyn, enough! His voice echoes through the room. You lied to me about this too? Aurora stares at her father, but the man sitting there doesn't look like her father anymore. His eyes are full of something colder. Fear. Not for her, but for himself. The judge leans forward. Mrs. Brown, are you confirming that Aurora's legal status within the trust was never finalized? Robyn wipes her tears. Yes, but it was supposed to be. I signed the papers myself. I thought it was done. Who filed them? The judge asks. Robyn hesitates. Our accountant. He said he handled it. His name was... She stops suddenly, trembling. His name was what, Mrs. Brown? The judge presses. Dale, she whispers. Dale Morrison. He worked for us years ago. A murmur spreads through the courtroom. Christine looks toward Mary, whose expression hardens. Dale Morrison, she mutters. That's the same accountant who handled Kody's business filings in 2017. When old names resurface, so do old lies, and this one's about to explode. The judge orders a recess to confirm the files. Within minutes, an officer walks in carrying a sealed folder. He hands it to the clerk, who rushes it to the judge. Everyone watches as the judge opens it carefully, flips through the documents, and frowns. These are the original trust filings, he says slowly, and there's no record of Aurora Brown listed anywhere. However, he pauses, his eyes narrowing. There is a signature here that shouldn't exist. The room goes silent again. The judge turns the page toward the courtroom camera. This signature belongs to someone named Christine Brown. Christine gasps audibly. What? That's not possible. The judge continues. This version appears to have been notarized under her name in 2015, alongside Kody and Robyn's signatures. Christine shakes her head furiously. I never signed that. I never even saw it. Aurora feels the blood drain from her face. Everything's spinning again. She glances at her mother, who's now crying harder, whispering, I thought he used real forms. I didn't know. The lawyer steps forward. Your Honor, it appears Mr. Morrison forged Mrs. Brown's signature to expedite the filing. We're investigating the full extent. The judge slams his hand on the bench. You mean to tell me this family trust has been built on forged signatures for nearly a decade? When lies live long enough, they start calling themselves the truth. Kody covers his face, shaking his head. This is insane. The judge looks directly at him. Mr. Brown, this court will need all your business records, including any communications with Mr. Morrison. Kody nods reluctantly, muttering, Fine, but Christine isn't done. She stands again, her voice shaking with anger. Your Honor, I want to submit evidence of my own. Last year I received a letter from that same accountant. I thought it was junk mail, but now it makes sense. The judge gestures for her to hand it over. She walks to the bench, places the letter down. As he opens it, his expression changes. This letter is dated 3 weeks before the trust filing, and it clearly states that all property assets were to be moved into an LLC under Robyn Brown's name. The crowd gasps again. Christine turns to face Kody directly. So this was never about protecting anyone, was it? You two were building an empire, and you didn't care who got crushed underneath it. Robyn breaks down completely, sobbing uncontrollably. Kody clenches his jaw, refusing to respond. The judge leans forward. At this point, I'm ordering an emergency audit of all Brown LLC accounts. If funds or assets were transferred fraudulently, there will be serious consequences. Aurora sits frozen. The world she thought she knew, her family, her identity, her safety, is unraveling before her eyes. Every secret comes with a price. The question is, who pays it first? The gavel strikes. Court adjourned until Monday morning. Both parties are to return with all documentation and witness confirmations. As everyone begins to leave, Christine walks to Aurora. You need to rest. What's coming next won't be easy. Aurora nods faintly, her voice breaking. They're going to turn on me, aren't they? Christine hesitates, then says quietly, They already have. Aurora looks across the room one last time. Robyn is surrounded by lawyers crying into Kody's shoulder. He doesn't comfort her. He just stares ahead, jaw locked, like a man who knows his house of cards is falling. Outside, the rain finally starts to fall. Slow, cold drops hitting the courthouse steps. Aurora walks out into it, not even raising an umbrella. For the first time, she feels free and terrified at the same time. Because if what she just heard is true, her entire life has been built on forged papers and fake promises. And someone, somewhere, wanted it that way. In the Brown family, truth isn't discovered. It's detonated. As she walks toward Christine's car, her phone buzzes. It's an unknown number. She hesitates, answers, and a man's voice says quietly, "Aurora, we need to talk. I used to work for your parents. My name is Dale Morrison." The call ends. Aurora's heart drops. The storm rages harder. The rain hasn't stopped. It's been 2 days since the courtroom exploded with the revelation that Aurora's name was never legally part of the Brown family trust. Every headline screams betrayal, fraud, and scandal. Flagstaff feels smaller now, suffocating. Every grocery store aisle, every street corner, someone whispers her name. Aurora sits in Christine's living room, the fire crackling softly. Her phone is face down on the table. She hasn't answered a single call since that night. Not from Kody, not from Robyn, but that voice on the phone, Dale Morrison. It's been echoing in her mind ever since. Christine watches her quietly from across the room. "You don't have to meet him," she says softly. "I do," Aurora replies. "If he's the one who filed the papers, he might know what really happened." Christine hesitates, then nods. "Then I'm going with you. The closer you get to the truth, the more dangerous it becomes." They meet Dale at a diner on the outskirts of town, one of those quiet places where the lights flicker and the smell of burnt coffee lingers in the air. Dale looks older than his voice sounded. Late 50s, exhausted, carrying the kind of guilt that doesn't fade with time. When he sees Aurora, he stands, removes his hat, and says, "You look just like her." Aurora stiffens. "Like who?" "Your mother," he says, then lowers his voice. "And that's what got me into trouble." Christine leans in. "You're the one who forged my signature." Dale nods slowly. "Yes, but I didn't do it alone." Aurora's stomach twists. Dale slides a folded document across the table. "This is a copy of the original trust, the real one. Before Robyn and Kody changed it." Aurora hesitates, then unfolds it. Her hands shake as she reads. There at the top it says, "The Brown Family Trust. Established 2014. It lists every wife and every child. Mary's, Janelle's, Christine's, Robyn's, all equal beneficiaries." And then, scribbled in pen, a note in the margin, "Revised per KWB. Remove Christine's clause. Replace with RB, custodial authority." Aurora feels sick. So this was Dad's idea? Dale sighs. He wanted control. But the revisions? Those were Robyn's doing. She said she'd handle the signatures. She told me it was approved by everyone. Christine's eyes narrow. "And you just believed her?" "I was paid to believe her," Dale says quietly. $50,000 in cash. From an account called Brown Heritage Holdings. Aurora exchanges a look with Christine. "That's not even one of our family LLCs." "No," Dale says. "It's one they made later, in Nevada." I didn't realize until much later that it was fake. The silence between them feels heavy. Christine rubs her forehead, whispering, "They've been laundering trust money for years." Aurora whispers, "So I was never supposed to be listed at all, right?" Dale hesitates. "You were added later, after the first revision. I filed that version myself." "But someone else removed you before the final one went public." Aurora frowns. "Who?" Dale looks up slowly. "Your mother." The words hit like glass shattering. Christine's jaw drops. "Robyn took her own daughter out of the trust?" Dale nods. "Kody told her it would make things simpler in case of a financial audit. He said Aurora could be added back later. But once it was filed, Robyn never corrected it. She told me to let it go." Aurora's throat tightens. Her chest feels hollow. "So she lied to everyone, even me." Dale slides another paper across the table, a printed email chain. "Here, proof of instructions. Robyn's email, her timestamp, and Kody's approval. This is what the court needs. The truth doesn't hide in the shadows. It hides in plain sight, waiting for someone brave enough to read it." Christine leans over the documents, scanning the lines. "These could destroy them," she says quietly. Aurora doesn't answer. Her hands are trembling too much. She finally whispers, "I don't want to destroy anyone. I just want to know who I really am." Dale nods. "Then you need to read the last page." He gestures toward the final document, folded inside a manila envelope. Aurora opens it slowly. Her breath catches. It's a birth record. It's a birth record, her own. But the name listed beside mother isn't Robyn Brown. It's blank. The name beside father reads Kody W. Brown. Aurora stares at the paper, her pulse roaring in her ears. This can't be real. Dale whispers, "I didn't want to be the one to show you that, but your adoption was never finalized. Robyn filed the paperwork, but she never sent it to the court. Legally, you were never adopted. And that's why you were never added to the trust." Christine reaches over, placing a hand on Aurora's shoulder. "Oh my God." Aurora feels tears blur her vision. "So my own mom, she's not even my mom?" Dale lowers his head. "Not on paper, but she raised you, Aurora. Don't forget that." Aurora slams the paper down, standing abruptly. "Raised me to protect her secrets." People in the diner glance over. Christine stands too, whispering, "Aurora, calm down." But Aurora can't. Her voice breaks as she says, "She lied about everything, about who I am, about what this family even is." Some wounds don't bleed, they echo. And once they start, they never stop. Dale sighs. "There's more you need to see. I was threatened after I filed those papers. Someone told me if I ever spoke, I'd lose everything. And I did. My job, my family, my license. But the person who delivered the threat wasn't Robyn." Christine frowns. "Who was it?" Dale's eyes dart to the window. Rain streams down the glass, and he lowers his voice. "A woman from Utah. She said she represented Kody's private interests. She called herself Mrs. Williams." Christine freezes. "Wait, Williams? Kody used that name when he registered property in Utah years ago." Aurora whispers, "Then that means..." Dale nods grimly. "There's someone else involved. And if she's who I think she is, your father isn't just hiding a trust. He's hiding a marriage." Aurora's entire body goes cold. Her voice shakes. "A marriage?" Christine's eyes widen. "Kody's fifth wife." Dale slides one final envelope toward her. "Her name's Sarah Williams. This is the marriage license, dated 4 months before the trust was revised." Aurora's hand trembles as she opens it. The words are right there, Kody Brown and Sarah Williams, signed in Utah. Christine gasps. "Oh my God. He married her before finalizing the family trust." Aurora whispers, "That means the trust wasn't for us. It was for her." Dale nods. "Now you understand why Robyn panicked. She didn't just forge names. She covered for him." The air in the diner feels thick. Christine stands, her voice low but furious. "We need to take this straight to the judge." Dale shakes his head. "Not yet. There's more you don't know." Sarah's name appears again, this time on property deeds connected to that Nevada LLC. Aurora looks down at the documents again. Her pulse won't slow. Every line feels heavier than the last. "So all those years they said it was about family," she says softly. "It was really about money. And covering another life." Christine nods slowly, eyes fixed on the storm outside. "This changes everything." Aurora folds the documents carefully, tucking them back into the envelope. Her face is pale but determined now. "Then we expose it all. Every fake signature, every hidden deed, every lie." Dale nods. "Be careful, Aurora. Once this comes out, they'll come for you too." Aurora looks him straight in the eye. "They already have. Every secret has an expiration date, and this one's about to reach its final hour." Christine pulls out her phone. "I'm calling Mary. We'll meet the lawyer tonight. Tomorrow, we go back to court." But as she dials, a car pulls up outside the diner. A black SUV. The headlights flash twice, then it idles. Dale's face goes pale. "That's them," he whispers. Aurora frowns. "Who?" "The ones who've been following me since I left Arizona," Dale says, standing slowly. "You need to leave. Now." The doors swing open, and 2 men in dark coats enter, pretending to browse the menu. Christine grabs Aurora's hand. "Come on." They slip out the back door, running through the rain. Aurora clutches the envelope against her chest, her heart pounding. Behind them, Dale stays inside, sitting calmly, his hands on the table, as if he's made peace with whatever's about to happen. The truth can't be buried. But the people who find it can. As Christine and Aurora reach the car, Aurora looks back one last time. Through the diner window, she sees Dale talking to one of the men. Then the lights flicker, and Dale is gone. Christine slams the door, speeding away into the storm. Aurora whispers, voice shaking, "He tried to help us." Christine nods, her face pale. "And now we have to make sure he didn't die for nothing." The envelope rests between them, soaked, wrinkled, but still intact. And inside it lies the evidence that could end Kody and Robyn's empire for good. But the closer they get to exposing the truth, the more dangerous the game becomes. The next morning, the courthouse feels colder than ever. Reporters line the steps, shouting questions that echo through the rain-drenched air. Is it true Kody Brown had another wife? Did Dale Morrison die last night? Will Aurora testify again today? Christine and Aurora walk silently through the crowd, their umbrellas dripping, their faces pale but determined. The envelope Dale gave them, still wet from last night's storm, is clutched tightly in Aurora's hands. It's the last piece of him they have. Inside, the courtroom is already full. Robyn sits beside Kody, her eyes red from crying. Cody's expression is unreadable, controlled, almost rehearsed. He doesn't look at Aurora. He doesn't look at Christine. He just stares straight ahead. The judge enters, adjusts his glasses, and says quietly, "I understand there were developments since our last session." Christine steps forward, placing the sealed envelope on the table. "Your Honor, we have new evidence. Documents recovered from former accountant Dale Morrison." The courtroom buzzes immediately. Robyn stiffens. Kody's attorney stands. "Objection! Mr. Morrison is not present to verify authenticity." Christine doesn't blink. "He can't verify them, Your Honor. He's dead." A ripple of gasps moves through the room. The judge leans forward, eyes narrowing. "Dead?" Christine nods. "We met him last night. He gave us these documents. And hours later, he was gone." When the truth starts claiming lives, silence becomes a weapon. Aurora stands beside her, clutching the folder. "He wanted this to come out," she says softly. "He said the truth would destroy them, but it would set me free." The judge looks at her with pity. "Miss Brown, are you prepared to submit these documents as official evidence?" Aurora nods, her voice trembling. "Yes, Your Honor." The bailiff collects the folder and delivers it to the bench. The judge opens it slowly, flipping through each page. The air grows heavy as he reads. Finally, he speaks. These are official filings from 2014 through 2016. They contain both financial records and personal correspondence between Mr. and Mrs. Brown, as well as a legal marriage. Certificate dated prior to the family trust. Revisions. The courtroom erupts. Reporters whisper. Cameras click furiously. Robyn covers her mouth. Kody's face drains of color. The judge holds up the document. According to this, Mr. Kody Brown legally married a woman named Sarah Williams in Utah, 4 months before the trust documents were finalized. Robyn bursts into tears. No, that's not possible. Kody slams his hand on the table. That's a lie. It's fake. The judge bangs his gavel. Order, order. Aurora whispers. He did it. He really did it. Every lie has a shadow, and today, that shadow finally has a name. Christine watches Kody carefully. You said you loved all your wives equally, she says under her breath. But you were already planning a life none of us knew about. Kody turns toward her, eyes blazing. You don't understand anything about my life. Christine snaps back. I understand betrayal. The judge slams the gavel again. Enough! If this document is legitimate, it will be verified through Utah's court registry. Until then, I am ordering a recess, but Aurora stands. Your Honor, I can verify something. The room quiets instantly. She opens her bag and pulls out Dale's printed emails, the proof of correspondence between Kody, Robyn, and their accountant. These messages confirm it, she says. They discuss transferring all trust assets to a Nevada LLC, the same one registered under Sarah Williams' name. The judge gestures for the bailiff to collect them. Kody's lawyer looks pale. Your Honor, this could be identity theft. Aurora cuts in. It's not. The emails are time-stamped, with attachments sent from my father's account. And they were forwarded to Robyn's email 2 days later. Robyn's voice breaks. Aurora, please stop. You don't understand what you're doing. Aurora looks straight at her. No, Mom, I finally do. Sometimes you have to break your own heart to stop living inside someone else's lie. The judge reads through the first page. His brows furrow deeper with every line. This email explicitly instructs Mr. Morrison to alter the trust and reassign ownership rights to Sarah Williams. Kody's voice rises. That's not what it means. It was just a business arrangement. Christine shouts back. Then why hide it? The judge looks up sharply. Enough! I will not tolerate another outburst. Aurora's voice trembles but remains firm. Your Honor, Dale said Robyn covered for Kody, that she forged Christine's signature to make it look legitimate. Robyn sobs. I didn't forge it. I didn't want to lose him. The judge glares. Mrs. Brown, are you admitting to altering legal documents under false pretenses? Robyn wipes her tears, whispering, I was trying to protect our family. Christine rises slowly. By destroying everyone else's? The judge sighs heavily, removing his glasses. Given the nature of this evidence,